Hi guys, and welcome to episode 5 of Let's Mod Warframe. Today we're going to take a look at the Grineer fully automatic assault rifle, the Karak. Now the Karak's a very accurate assault rifle with a decent damage of 26 per shot. Now the thing that stands this rifle apart from a lot of other rifles in the game is it's not a critical based weapon or really have any status chance to speak of whatsoever. This weapon relies on pure damage alone and does a pretty good job of it. Now the weapon itself seems to be based off modern assault rifles, most obviously resembling the infamous AK-47, and comes with a magazine size sort of comparable with modern assault rifles, with 30 rounds in the magazine. And this can be the downfall of this weapon, because the small magazine of 30 rounds with a 2-second reload can make it feel like you're spending your entire time in the mission reloading the weapon. Now, another great thing about this weapon is it's hugely accurate, meaning that getting accurate fire downrange and connecting with the target is very easy, which means this weapon is really good for providing very good sustained fire. Now when it comes to modding the Karak, there seems to be two schools of thought as to be the best way of doing this: elemental combos or pure white damage. Now there's no wrong way in terms of modding this weapon, and I'll explain both ideas now. Now the white damage non-elemental build requires using Bane mods such as your Bane of Grineer, Bane of Corpus, and also using the Rupture mod to boost the already fairly good impact damage. Now there's nothing wrong with this build whatsoever, however personally I still prefer to add in the elemental combos onto this weapon for that additional punch when the status does take effect. Now it's only got a 7.5% base status chance, which means that you're only going to get 7 rounds in 100 roughly that get the status effect. However, at higher level, when you're firing more rounds per target, the non-elemental build I feel drops off far quicker than using a build that promotes getting the occasional faction specific damage. But as I said earlier, it's really personal preference. And it's one of the things I love about Warframe, that there is no one perfect build for any weapon. Okay, so now we'll mod the Karak. We'll go with Serration and Split Chamber. We'll go with Heavy Caliber in the V polarity. And let's ignore this V polarity, I added it later in with Former. And then we'll go with Cryo Rounds, and we'll go with Split Chamber for that magnetic combo that you need against the Corpus. For Grineer, again, Serration, Split Chamber, and then Heavy Caliber in the V polarity. And then we go with Stormbringer and Hellfire, just for that radiation damage against your Bombards and your Napalms, your heavily armoured Grineer. Okay, and then we will go to the Void build, and we'll go to Serration, Split Chamber, Heavy Caliber, Stormbringer, and Infected Clip for your corrosive damage against the armoured units in the Void. Now on to whether I would recommend getting this weapon. The answer to that is absolutely yes. I feel that it's an awesome addition to anybody's arsenal. The combination of accuracy, even when you have something like a max heavy caliber on there, means that it's insanely good at being able to put down solid, accurate fire. Due to the majority of the damage being impact, I'd recommend using this primarily as an anti-corpus weapon. Impact is massively less effective against anything without shields. However, in terms of anything on the star map, and even up to T3, T4 Void, the Karak's going to perform solidly enough to still be a pretty effective weapon in any situation. In terms of moving on with this weapon, would I recommend putting Former on it? And the answer to that is absolutely, and I plan on doing so in the future. My personal recommendation is that with some of the extra mod space that you clear up, use some of it to put a fast hands on there to increase your reload speed. Now some people's going to disagree with me on that, however in this case fast hands works much like a damage mod. Bearing in mind how much time you spend per mission reloading, it's time that you're not firing and applying the decent damage that the weapon does. The max fast hands makes the weapon feel so much better to use, and the footage you're seeing now is with the max fast hands installed. It's a massive quality of life change and improves the application of damage by a huge amount. I would also try to put on all of the dual stat, elemental and status chance mod. Now this puts the status up to a more respectable 36%, which is a gigantic boost to the damage of this weapon, and puts it far in front of any non-elemental build that you can actually put on, but that requires multiple Former to do effectively. To sum up, this weapon, accuracy, damage, and a great soundtrack. You can't deny the weapon sounds fantastic. And it means that this is a great weapon and a really fun one to use. Thank you very much for tuning in, guys. Have a great day. Bye bye.